Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Always Be Gaming podcast. It is great to be back with you all here on a Tuesday night. Y'all be listening to this on a Wednesday. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a fantastic week of gaming. I hope you guys had a chance to sit down, play some games. If not, you had a chance to watch some games. There was some good esports going on this weekend, which we'll jump into. But we are joined, or I'm joined, as always, by my good friend Survivor IV Matt Kent down at the bottom. And we got a little special guest, one of our good friends, Chris Vincent, up there in the top right of your screen. You can see him up there. Chris, say hello.
Hello. Hello, podcast.
Nice, dude. We're happy to have you on here. It's going to be a good little episode for you guys. We'll jump into some good things. Before we do that, always be sure to head over to wherever you're listening to it, Apple or Spotify. You have the ability to leave a 5-star review. Just do that. If you want to type a little review too as well, that's always helpful. Helps us grow, helps us to reach new people. But just drop that 5 stars on there. We greatly appreciate that. And then also, we're on YouTube. You can watch all of our pretty faces and see all of our backgrounds, judge everything that's behind us, and then type in the comments what you like. And then also, if you want to rep some Always Be Gaming merch, you can head over to alwaysbegaming.shop and get some cool Always Be Gaming clothes on there and represent. Yeah. Well, I don't know about y'all, but I've been busy and I haven't really played much games. So I'm not going to be able to help out with a ton of gaming content, but there was some good stuff that went on this week. A lot of news coming out in the world of esports and the world of gaming, which all of us talking and you listening is probably going to affect you in the future. So without further ado, let's jump into it. This last weekend, the Call of Duty League had a kickoff. And the biggest takeaway from this, and Matt, Chris, tell me if I'm wrong on this, but I think the biggest takeaway from this is that the players don't like fans.
I think the players don't like fans. I think the players don't like what they're doing. I've seen so many people popping off on Twitter about they don't even like the league. They don't like the setup. They don't like the way it's going. People are saying they're bored with it, that they don't like this iteration of Call of Duty. They don't like this iteration of Warzone. Like, there's so much junk wrong with this, but I'm not here to give a lot of, I'm not here to give a lot tonight. We have a guest on. Chris, what do you think?
So from what I saw this past weekend, the issues with the fans, what happened against, I think it was FaZe and Seattle.
Yeah.
There was a 5-5 bomb planted 1v1, and the defender was waiting the timeout. And the problem that I believe it was Simp or one of the FaZe kids had was it was kind of where the fans started shouting when he was defusing the bomb to tell the other player, well, kind of alert the defender that he was defusing to be able to go check it without having to actually check it.
Oh, geez.
Now the time frame is hard to really prove that happened, but I've played my fair share of LAN Call of Duty professionally, semi-pro.
All right.
Those you can hear the fans at all times, pretty much. Even in a soundproof booth, you can hear the fans because they're going crazy, especially the FaZe, the Optic groups. They're loud, and that was one of the issues they had.
Yeah, this is bound to happen. This happened earlier this year, or I guess not this year, but in 2021, back in like November or something with a CSGO tournament. The fans were yelling out something, and after it happened, a gamer stood up and yelled at the crowd, like, "What are y'all doing?" It's like, just shut up and play the game, dude. But yeah, I can completely understand that kind of throws off the flow of the game. That's not truly how it's supposed to work, which is kind of upsetting. That really sucks. But also kind of on that, I saw that a picture of someone flicking off Arcity like after the match or something, a fan who was wearing a New York Subliners jersey, flicking them off on stage, and it's just crazy. There a lot of shit talking coming from the fans going towards the players, and a lot of other
that as well.
Yeah, a lot of other negative things that are just coming out of there. So it doesn't really sound like the the fans are a top priority for any of these players to really build relationships with, which is kind of unfortunate in a way of building your own brand as a player, as a streamer, a content creator. I personally, as a fan, I would like to be there and support who I cheer for, but I can see it in the other way that this is causing negative interactions to the gameplay, to the whole scene and everything. So I totally get that.
If you think about it, it reflects on, the banter of just Call of Duty public lobbies.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
That same type of banter goes on at LAN events.
Yeah.
But it's more trolly, not as like hostile as such. Like Arcidy's joked about that photo. Like he wasn't angry or anything. It was a joke. So it's kind of like that public lobby banter. And I guess that's a Call of Duty thing.
Yeah, that would make sense. If the playing pubs S&D, if any of that chat were ever to be like on TV, that would people would be going to jail. It's crazy. Yeah.
And well, overall, people still care about this. Fans showed up in great numbers, so there's that. However, viewership overall viewership is down 24, almost 25%. Peak viewership's down 34%. So at the very most on kickoff weekend last year, they had 108,000 views all in one moment. This year the peak was 79,000. But yeah, the weekend it had an average of 47,000 viewers, down from 60,000 the year before. So
yeah,
morale's not high.
I think there's a few things that kind of go into that, because they took 2 months to start playing professionally after the game came out. People are tired of playing it. They're not really paying attention to it as much. And so now they're trying to bounce back into the space of everyone's mind to pay attention to, which really isn't happening. This is also a preseason event that doesn't really mean much, which we'll hear Clayster say a little bit later. But yeah, I think there's little factors that go into that, but definitely have some improving to do.
Yeah. So I will raise my hand and say I did not watch.
Are you serious?
I saw it was on. I saw it was on live, and I was just like, bruh.
Not even in the background while you're doing some raids or some mythics, nothing like that.
Yeah, he knows I'm back on WoW.
Corbin knows.
No. Corbin knows. Yeah, we both are. Chris and I both are back in.
Yeah, I dabbled in it this weekend as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But I don't know. I don't think I think, and here's what changed my mind. After seeing Halo Esports come out and they're just doing it all right, I don't want to revert back. Like, I have no reason to go watch Call of Duty because I prefer Halo. I think they're doing it so much better. It's just not as exciting to watch Call of Duty Esports for me. So,
no, I agree. And if it was a better game and I enjoyed playing it a little bit more, I might be more in tune to pay more attention to it. But obviously, I'm gonna keep up with it a little bit, but I'm not gonna take 19 hours out of my weekend and watch a whole tournament. Not gonna happen.
And we've been critical about that in the past, which is that you can't, unless you are watching live and you have no wife, no kids, no job, no nothing, you can consume all the content, but I don't have that kind of time. Most people don't want to make that much time for one thing. So the poor casters, the people who are in these events, no wonder they're all Scrooges about all this. It's consuming their entire day. No one wants to work that long. I don't care how much you love your job. That's a lot. We need to shorten it down. Cut out half the teams. Half the teams aren't worth a dang anyway. So take have a relegation, right? Do it like maybe Premier League soccer, where you've got the top 8 teams are always competing, and then the bottom 2 fall out, and then the 2 from the bottom come in, and have a pro league and an amateur pro league or something like that. But it's too much.
It used to be like that with MLG, but with your point. So a month ago, there was only 8 teams going to be at the kickoff out of the 12. Backlash is why they changed it. So you think it should have stayed as the 8?
I do. I
got you.
Who? So what? I mean, tell me. I mean, you obviously know a little bit more about this than I do. What was that like? Why was it just loud people on the internet, or what? Or was it the teams that were saying that?
It was a mixture of fans and teams and players. I guess it got to a point where as a player, if you're not, you're working your tail off from when the game comes out up until this point, and you may not get a chance to play in the first kickoff tournament. And this may be your first year as a pro.
Right.
You don't get to show out on that first, because that's always mostly going to be until the end, like champs. That's going to bring the most viewers. You don't get to show off your skills in front of the most viewers. That's where they got flack. They obviously were trying to cut costs. It only makes sense. There's a really big gray area of the players don't like the game. Any professional athlete playing at that level in any sport, if you don't love the game, it's hard to play.
That's very true.
It's hard to play it at that level if you don't love the game.
Yeah. I wonder if this also has to do with Optic or Envy moving into ownership of this esports arena and wanting to have more teams come there. I don't know if that had anything to do with it either, but
I think it's certainly had. Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Yeah.
They probably helped facilitate them being able to bring it back to 12 teams.
Right.
Because I would think Castro and Hex, I think everyone was not a fan of 8 teams. From a viewer's perspective, Matt makes a good point. But from the org owners, the players, the time they put in, the money they've put in, just axing them like that for no reason. And this was leaked like 2 months before it started. Like it was, and then a month later they revert it and go back like a couple weeks before the kickoff this past weekend. So morale's low. I haven't really. The only person I've ever seen tweet that they like playing the game is Censor, and he's not a pro player. He's just kind of, he used to be.
Yeah.
He's more of a.
That dude just
he's
pisses
more of
me
a
off.
face.
He needs to grow up and move on.
He means well.
Yeah, he does, but come on.
Yeah.
He's a little cocky. Yeah.
That's probably another reason. So you mentioned it, Chris, like, the org owners are probably, all wanting to be active there. But I think to Corbin's point about Envy being the new owners of this esports stadium where this was held, there's no way that if like the players not wanting fans there, and I think Clayster, we can pull the tweet up, but like,
yeah, let me pull that up.
Some of the players didn't want fans to be there for COVID. There's obviously other reasons, like Chris mentioned earlier, why maybe players would not want fans to be there. But you just bought an esports stadium in one of the hottest growing real estate markets in America. You're gonna let people in that are gonna pay you money for a ticket. It doesn't matter what your talent says. So I guess there was a ton of people there. COVID's really bad right now. Okay, but we're in Texas. We're the land of the free, and whether you like that or not, I mean, that's just how it is down here. Most people don't want COVID restrictions. Most people want to be able to walk into places without masks. Most people want to be able to walk into places and not have to 6 feet away from people. Like most people in Texas, that's just how we are. And so, like,
yep.
But
walk
I
up
guess
a mouth kiss the bros.
Every time,
whatever you say.
I would do it to both of you if you were here right now. But
all right, back up.
You got the tweet. What did he say?
Oh yeah, he said so. Well, first, Clay ended up getting COVID from this event. It's kind of the whole big thing from this. Which really sucks. But he said, really happy I attended a meaningless kickoff single elimination event without proper testing and regulations. Effing pathetic. So he's not really happy about this at all. So, and it kind of goes back to say absolute breakdown from the CDL to only require 1 negative test on Thursday, which is good that they even had them do a test to show that they were negative. Only 1 negative test on Thursday for players and 0 rules for fans, which I don't know if that's true or not. They might have had to show like a vaccine card or something like that, because that's how it was whenever we went to the Esports Awards, was at the same thing, which again, doesn't really do much. You can still catch COVID. But there's 0 rules for fans, even though we pushed for no fans. So there you go. Clay didn't want to have any fans there. I'm sure that's kind of a majority thing from all the players to have no fans there. Daily testing for players and staff. And of course, there's a ton of positive tests coming from this weekend. So brain dead. So,
what do you think about this, Chris?
So, and like I guess like I prefaced earlier, I've played semi-pro Call of Duty. I've been in the scene personally. Not anymore. It's been a good while since I've been out, but he's been a very big character in the league for years. Since he was playing game battles when I was in 5th grade, playing game battles, acting like I was 18 to be able to play tournaments like that. He's always pushed a political agenda on all of his brand, on what he says on his Twitter. He's always been like that. So this doesn't surprise me. Yeah. It's exactly what Matt said is what I was thinking. He's not used to being in Texas or being in arena, like an outdoor open setting in Texas. That's the state law. There isn't anything like that. Is there a way to prove that he got it at the event? You know, things like that. Him assuming that, kind of pushing what he's trying to push on, that, you know, everyone should be vaxxed, we should all be masked up, and no one should go outside type of thing. That's kind of what I get from that in a way.
Yeah. Here's a follow-up on that. He just says, don't worry, guys. I'll just get all my medical advice from Dr. Joe Rogan. Might as well shoot up some horse dewormer while I'm at it. Anyone got any of them monoclonal antibodies, since it's class-based treatment and I'm rich? So yeah, he's definitely got an agenda.
Okay, that is an absolute affirmation of what Chris just said.
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't even know about that one. That's crazy.
But he's always been that way.
Okay,
for years.
Well, hey, that's fine. I admire people who are comfortable enough to be who they are. That's obviously who he is. He's not afraid to do it. Great. Right. I completely disagree with what he said, but I'm happy that he's that way.
He's not playing a character. Whatever. He's being himself.
No, he's being his true self. Good for him.
Yeah.
So, and I completely disagree with it. So, but that's great.
But anyway, that's all a lot of negative stuff that happened, kind of just on the, not really even from the actual tournament side, more of just stuff that's going on outside the tournament, from not actually gameplay, I guess is what I should say. Just going along with it. But
and if the players don't like it, they're going to find ways like this to be able to create more distress in being able to organize something like this in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was good to kind of have a Call of Duty tournament back. I always like watching Call of Duty. I think it's an important piece to esports. So I'm happy it's around. I don't know what the future of that looks like, if it's going to be this traditional 4v4 thing, or if it's going to move towards a more battle royale scene. We don't know. We'll see in the future. But anyway, snipers were back in S&D. Clay was a big component of that, which was fun to kind of see. In the last, I think, 2 Call of Duties, they haven't really been pushing players to use snipers, so it was fun to see a lot of players using them and getting some cool kills with that, which was a lot of fun. I like using a sniper. I'm not very good at it, but it's always good to get a little clip off,
And smokes are back as well.
Yeah, the smokes, I saw that to where you can, the player, I think I'm right, the player who throws it can see more than the other team.
Yes. It's actually, they need to change that. That is insane. A huge problem. Yeah. The fact that you can throw it as a defensive mechanism, the player that's coming at you can't see you, but you can see them.
That's crazy.
They need to change that immediately.
So there was a back and forth between 2 pros about that. Again, Simp from FaZe. Mm-hmm. He was talking about how someone who did that isn't getting hate when they call him MC. His initials are MC. He's on the Thieves' team. No, he's on FaZe. So we got Simp, Arcides. Help me here, Matt.
Okay, hold on. MC FaZe?
His name is MC, but he has an in-game name.
DJ DMB? McFaze?
No.
It's Abizi?
There's one left, and it has to be him.
I don't know how you say his name.
Celium.
Yeah.
Celium.
Oh, wow. So, good job.
So Celium got super popular.
I got
because Google. I should have. I get nervous.
It's all good.
Celium got super popular. I think it started with jetpacking Call of Duties, things like that, because he would spam crouch. He would peek. All he would do was move around and crouch and move around.
The little crab walk or whatever you call that.
Kinda, yeah. But he would abuse it. He would only do that. and he got super popular because he was very good and did that. And it seems like others, like you can't actually, like physically, it's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like with your thumb, like, and be able to aim. And so they were, what Simp said was, no one is hating on, and that's where I need to do my research. So it was a 1v1 in a 5v5 situation. The player throws Draza for LA Thieves, throws a smoke just down because he knows he's about to get in a gunfight, throws it on the ground, shoots through the smoke as if he could see someone, but in the video you can't really see the person. You see the name because you're watching it as a spectator. And he gets the kill. And people were upset that's how he got the kill, which is like, that's their point of why smoke shouldn't be in there. And Simp's point was, everyone hated on Celium because he did the crouch peek. They call it something. There's a term for it. But he was like, no one else is hating on Draza for that. And then Kenny backed up Draza, and Simp was, they pretty much agreed to disagree and went their separate ways. A lot of drama this weekend. Call of Duty. I guess it helped.
Do you hate both of those, or do you have one that you think's okay and not the other?
So here's the problem. You can't have snipers in a search and destroy if you can't have smokes.
Yeah.
Competitively, it doesn't. There's no balance.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, why they took them out on Modern Warfare. There were no snipers in Modern Warfare is when that started, I think.
Right.
Because the smokes in Modern Warfare were even worse than what it is in Vanguard.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of visibility for the person that's not throwing it down. So yeah, that's the cat and mouse part. You can't have snipers and not have smokes.
Yeah, they're natural counters to each other.
That's true. I feel like that should be a pretty, obviously I don't know the logistics behind it, but to fix that shouldn't be that hard, right?
Huh.
Just a little coding here, a little coding there. Bada boop, upload.
Maybe it's a problem that it didn't get tested by game testers.
Ooh. Oh man.
Hold on.
That's a topic.
Game testing?
Hold on.
That's a topic.
I want to brag on someone. So the Boston is the newest team to Call of Duty.
Boston Breach. Yep.
Boston Breach. So they're owned by
Dunkin' Donuts.
No.
Robert Kraft.
Yeah, Robert Kraft, not Dunkin' Donuts.
I was close. Okay.
No, that's a massage parlor that he goes to, not Dunkin' Donuts.
You stole it.
Anyway.
That was an oop for you. You dumped it.
They put on a show. They showed up. They had 2 rookies on their team, and they did really good. One guy wanted to brag on Capsidal. What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
He's like 6'5". He's huge, too.
No, he's a big dude. Big dude.
But he went on like an 8 kill streak, and that was the loudest I think I heard the crowd all weekend. Just knocking them back. It was really cool to see. So kudos to them. I think they're going to be really competitive throughout this year. Before this whole match started, all of the desk casters, they gave them no chance at all. They were all for New York as who they were playing during that time. And I don't think they won. I think New York won, but Boston put on a good show because they went to game 5, I believe, because it was the best of 5. That's how that whole tournament was working. But yeah, so great job by them. Boston Breach, newest team, newest players. It's cool to have kind of some new names showing up. Both of these guys were competing in challengers last year. Is how they kind of got noticed. So anyone who else is competing in challengers, be sure to be streaming all of your stuff because that's how you're going to get noticed, not just by being at challengers. Right.
Streaming and performing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. But anyway, that's pretty much Call of Duty event that happened this weekend. The season is going to be interesting how it moves forward. You got Miles Ross and Chance, and they're a team who's going to be casting. Miles Ross is one of the GOATs on casting. Fantastic.
GOAT. Freaking love that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very good.
Can we just 10 seconds? We met him at the Esports Awards. The kindest gentleman.
Oh my goodness,
evening.
yes.
He was the
I would
nicest
expect
guy.
that.
He was so nice.
He was so nice.
He called us by our names, asked us our names, chatted with us on the red carpet, legit, had other stuff to do. Took the time.
Took a good few minutes away from what he was doing and talked to us. So super nice.
Fan for life.
Yeah.
Love you, Miles.
They did great. And the other two, Lando and Study, are their names. They're new I don't know if Study's new to casting. Lando's new to kind of casting. He's kind of made a name for himself.
Study's new to casting,
okay.
kind of.
Yeah. Well, they did a good job too. They took over kind of the 2 spots that Maven and Merc would be in, which is still kind of, if you're a long fan of watching Call of Duty events, might still be a little bit sad about that, but get over it, move on. They're not here. Lando and Study did a good job. Lando sounds a lot like Courage JD. I think he listened to a lot of his casting in the past, but they did a fantastic job. All of them did. Lando is very confident in everything he does. He puts a lot of time into researching all this. He had a bunch of binders and everything he was showing off that people were kind of making fun of him for having, but I think kudos to him for being prepared. If you're not
he's got the
prepared, you're
job.
going to fulfill. Exactly. That's exactly it. So they did good. Good job, Call of Duty, for getting them. They did great. I think they're going to do good this year.
And Merc and Maven, supposedly, they're just ironing out the contracts.
Oh, really?
They'll be there.
Okay.
From what I read, they want to be there. So.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure all the fans do too because they're entertaining.
Maven is, Maven's really good.
Yeah,
really good.
They do a good job.
And that's his name's Miles Ross, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Miles.
I think he has that balance of Courage and Maven. That's that mix of both of them, which makes him why he's as good as he is, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he won Caster of the Year. There's a reason, okay?
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
Damn good.
That's true. That is very true. Very true. On the desk, they got Veli, who came over from Gears of War, I believe, is what he was doing before. First time being involved in the Call of Duty scene. He did a fantastic job. He was kind of the main one on the desk before games, in between games, all that stuff. They had Veli, Slacked, Alleycat, and Nameless. Nameless, he's been in Call of Duty forever. He also did a fantastic job there. And then on stage, they had a guy named Blaze. So I was listening to a Twitter space today that pretty much all these guys were on hosting it, talking about how they kind of got into hosting and pretty much how anyone else can. And it's pretty crazy that they have gotten to these spots because there's no like true coaching on teaching people how to be casters or broadcasting. There's not really any kind of, like agents for this or anything. It's all pretty much self-made. So congrats to all these guys.
Yeah, they make it happen.
Yeah, that's determination and hard work will get you there. So take notes, everybody, if you want it.
And he was actually very good on stage.
Yeah, he was. He had a lot of energy.
He was very impressive. Yeah, very impressive. Before we branched off from Call of Duty, I was going to say there may have been more negative on this weekend for that tournament, but the casting was actually really good.
I agree.
Very good.
That might have been the best part. Maybe. We'll see.
If only you watched, Matt. If only you watched.
And now I'm regretting it. Y'all are hyping me up here. I feel so bad. I should have known. I should have known better.
No, all good. All good. So kind of what you were saying before, which maybe could have prevented some of this, is that some of these, like quality testers, is that it? Quality testers, I believe, or they could have made some improvements on this, but it doesn't look like that's going to be happening anytime soon because they're unionizing. Is that right?
They're applying to become,
and that's from Activision.
They are Raven software employees.
Oh, Raven. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is under the umbrella of Activision, I believe. So technically, yes, Activision.
Yes.
Okay. But yeah.
Yes, it is.
That's crazy.
I may have. Can I just have a hot take here, real quick? Do we do hot takes on this pod? We do hot takes.
I'd be surprised if there wasn't one.
Let me sound the alarm. Here we go.
There's gonna be some. I just bring the polarization. Okay, I just bring in the hot takes. So I don't know that we need to unionize this, and I just and maybe you guys don't want to touch it because it's too
elaborate.
Hot, all right. Some people have jobs and they don't want to believe that their job is worth less or worth what it is, which is what they're getting paid. You're getting paid based on probably the need of your job. And McDonald's doesn't get enough respect. It's the most successful restaurant in the world, but there's a reason that we shouldn't all strive to be working in McDonald's because it doesn't pay very well.
Yeah.
And that's not to say it's a bad job. It might be a good first job, something to pick you up. The slump buster job, maybe you haven't been working for a while. You got a good job to get a job. Maybe that's, but it's not the hardest thing in the world. It's not brain surgery. It's not, selling medical stuff. It's not doing whatever Chris
casting
does.
a Call of Duty event.
Yeah, right. So, okay. But so I understand, so the idea of unions, I believe, used to be we need to protect people from like health hazards in situations where their employers are forcing them to work in unsafe situations. And it's to protect people that literally are being paid unfairly. I don't know that these people are being paid unfairly. I think they're mad that people are in their company that are very, very wealthy. Yeah. But I don't know that they deserve more. Hot take. Sorry.
Well, they're probably being paid minimum wage, which is $7.50.
Or depends on where you are. Are these people in Texas now?
Oh, I highly doubt it.
Because if you're in California, it's like $17 or something crazy.
Yeah.
Probably in California.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So,
that's true.
I don't know. But also, it's about supply and demand. Like, right now,
the biggest thing is like some of these people who are complaining about this, other people would gladly take their jobs and work for $7.50 an hour or minimum wage, I should say.
So here you go.
Part-timers. I mean, there's people that probably wouldn't mind playing some video games to find bugs part-time and just do it for fun, right? Yep. And they're like, it's not my full-time gig. Like, okay, for instance, like right now, there are certain jobs that they legit need people, and rather than paying a minimum wage, like there's plenty of places around town right now, they're like saying, hey, starting pay $15 an hour in a state where our minimum wage is like $8. Mm-hmm. That's great. But that's because there's a huge need. I recently looked into, just as for funsies, I used to be a barista. I love it. I miss it. I would never get rich doing it. And so if I ever went back and did that, it would just be for fun. Like just for fun. So I looked at, there's this new place called Dutch Bros. Have you heard of it?
Dutch Bros?
I have one being built less than like 2 minutes away from my house.
Really?
It is. Awesome. It is the coolest new coffee place. But because it's so hip and cool, people want to work there. So they have no problem filling it. And guess what? Their baristas are making minimum wage for a starting job there. And that's because people want to work there. Mm-hmm. So if people want the job and you have no problem filling it, guess what? Yeah, it's going to pay you nothing. So like, I don't know.
Have some Glassdoor data.
Come on.
See it.
Get in here. Industry Insider Chris.
Out of 5,658 salaries for a quality assurance / video game tester, the average base pay per year is $62,453. But
that's a California salary, probably.
In California, I've never lived there with making something like that, so it's hard to base it. I know a few at Apple that, they do the same job I do, but they live in California, so it looks like they make way more than me, but there's a reason why they do, because of the cost of living.
Right.
So that may not be
like a
it's
level.
Hard to say. I'd have to be in that area.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense.
I would assume it's mostly in California. Developers, all of that.
Yeah, a lot of Silicon Valley type stuff is out there. I know some studios are moving to Austin, like Joe Rogan and Tesla and all the other people who care about actually keeping their money. Sorry. Some studios are moving to Austin like these other people is kind of what I meant to say. I left out a clause in there, but I think a lot of people are realizing, hey, I can have this really cool gig and keep more of my money if I don't live in California. You know what else came out today? This is as long as we're talking about California. California, least literate state in the entire nation.
Interesting.
Really?
You were 75% of adults have a literacy above the second grade in California.
Interesting.
Now, I think that's also has a lot to do with the amount of probably immigrants. Places with immigrants have a low literacy rate. We're getting to our politics pod, which will come out right after this. But anyway, California's got some cool stuff going for it. There's a lot of people out there making games. I don't know. All right, so 60,000. Do you? That just to me though, when I think I'm making $60,000 a year to test video games, not to fix the problems, to find the problems and just play them. Seems pretty fair to me, guys.
Yeah. Anyway,
I agree.
They unionize, whatever, do whatever you want. Someone else take your job. Just make sure my game's good.
They're also catching the wind of the Activision turmoil from bad management, which that the frat culture, so to say, is what they would label it as.
Yeah.
Which I disagree with that label, but it's what the media labels it as.
Right.
That's probably never happened with the quality testers or anything, I'm assuming. But they're using that as this is a terrible company. They're not paying us enough. Here's another example of what makes them a terrible company, which may not really apply to, a quality assurance tester really for what they should be getting paid.
True.
Yeah, if this is something you've been waiting on, like when's the right time to bounce on this? Right now. I think you're exactly right. There's no coincidence that the timing of this is probably super perfect for them.
Yeah.
So, but
speaking of
Raven
timing,
is
go ahead.
an owned studio by Activision Blizzard. I just triple checked that, so it is Activision.
It is confirmed.
There it is. Speaking of timing,
this episode is brought to you. No, I'm kidding. We don't have a sponsor. Timing wise, I was going to say is that Faceit and ESL, which we're both fairly familiar with, Faceit hosts all of this Halo esports that we've kind of been keeping up with. If you have signed up and played any of their online tournaments, it's all through Faceit, their website there, which kind of hosts all of the kind of, I guess you'd say, their Halo tournaments. Faceit and ESL have now been purchased by Savvy Gaming, which is a Saudi Arabia company. It's a public company that is, and they bought them for $1.5 billion, which is just insane.
That's billion with the B, by the way.
With a B, yeah, not a T. We haven't got there yet, but with a B. That's crazy. We're trying to sell Always Be Gaming, and a lot of offers are on the table, but we're holding out.
So I'm reading what you're referencing.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know this. ESL also runs Dota 2 tournaments, and Dota 2 is huge worldwide.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest esport in the world.
At one point, they were making the most. The players were making the most.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're the ones who started that. Buy these cosmetics, and this percentage goes towards
interesting.
the pot,
like a creator
the
code?
pot for their world. Not even a creator code. It, like, if you purchase these cosmetics, part of this money that comes in is going to go towards the final
interesting,
like their world championship. Yeah, prize pool for their world championship.
I did not know that.
They may have been the ones who started that kind of that idea of being able to do that.
That's really cool.
Did Halo do that, Matt?
do what?
I don't think
Put
so.
some of their proceedings of their cosmetic purchases towards
No, I don't know. So I know that, yeah, so you're asking like of the esports ones, like the one that Corbin bought
towards the prize money
right
for the tournaments.
No, I know a bunch of them do. I don't know that they made any announcement like that.
I don't even.
Corbin's that noob that bought the FaZe red camo and
No,
ran around
that was you. That was you.
No. He bought the limited edition one for the team that doesn't exist. He bought
that
it
was
for the
me.
Envy one. Envy
That was
doesn't
me. I was
exist.
running
It's
around in
optic.
red,
Looking like a
Dying
goober
a
out
lot.
there.
dying a lot. Yeah. Yeah. When I saw that meme, I immediately went and changed it. Never putting that on again.
That's funny. No. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool thing. Gaming is becoming much more of a worldwide known and accepted kind of industry. And so more and more money is just being thrown around. We're going to see this happen more often. I think FaZe is going public this year. We talked about that previously. Their evaluation was at $1 billion, whenever that was kind of talked about. So we'll kind of see whenever they do go public what that kind of stands out to. But it's going to be a thing that we continue to see more money being passed around for esports orgs, esports kind of tournament companies, everything that's kind of making the roadway for success in esports is going to have a lot of money thrown at it. So that's pretty cool.
Something I just found as well. Did you know that ESL Face It weren't combined until that purchase?
Yes, I didn't know that.
Okay, I think I knew that, but when it sounded like they were all in one when it came with, but that's
because I saw that they did the ESL purchase, and then I saw later in the day it was Face It was also bought with it too.
Yeah, ESL 500 million, Face It.
No, other way around. Face It
right.
was 500 million. ESL was 1 billion, 1.09 or something like that.
Total of 1.5. Wow, big moves, Savvy Gaming.
Yeah, and there's a lot of money over there in the oil country. That is for sure.
That is a fact.
A lot of there's a place that there's also a lot of money, which is kind of iffy. You know, we've touched on this a little bit before. It's maybe all hype and not really any value to it. But that's crypto. And one guy who has been a staple in making YouTube a big player in the gaming world, Fwiz. I actually need to look up his true name.
Ryan Wyatt.
Ryan Wyatt, there you go. He was the head of gaming at YouTube for a long time, maybe 3 or 4 years since they kind of kicked this off. He brought over...
Since 2014.
Okay, 2014. Awesome, longer than I thought. He brought over Tim the Tap Man, all these big streamers to YouTube to be their go-to people. And now he is leaving YouTube to join a crypto company, and Ethereum company is really kind of what they are, called Polygon, which is just crazy to me. And he's not only just joining them, he's becoming their CEO. So I just want to touch on that.
I don't think that title gets bigger.
No, it doesn't. I don't think it does. That's pretty impressive. Congrats to him. I'm very curious on kind of really what that means for YouTube gaming. I'm sure that they have people set in place to take over his spot and kind of continue to advance YouTube in that space, because they're not just going to give up on YouTube on gaming. I wouldn't believe, but I'm very surprised that he would move on. But it's all this NFT Ethereum stuff is just making such a big hype right now. Everybody wants to make a little money, so I don't blame them.
I got something to add again.
Yeah, why?
It comes full circle. So, not the reason why I know his name's Ryan Wyatt. So Fwiz, do you know where he's from? Do you know where he came from gaming wise?
Complexity.
No. He helped run and moderate game battles, online Call of Duty tournaments. Like I said, back when I was in 5th grade playing those, he helped operate those pro circuit ladders, which some of the OGs played in Nameless, like those guys playing Call of Duty 4 MW2. He then, whenever MLG purchased game battles, he was a host with, I think Shibby is his name. Shibby branched off and did his own agent type of stuff in the gaming world. But yeah, Fwiz is from Call of Duty. That's where he got started. He's best friends with Nadeshot, Shibby, Hex, those guys. Yeah. It is cool to see how he's gone from, I think he was going to Ohio State, working for the guy who now runs the Esports engine, the CEO of that. He was head of Game Battle / MLG when that happened. And now he was running an entire department for Google / YouTube, and now he's a CEO. That's goals.
Yeah, I mean that's big boy moves right there. That's sweet.
Can I ask a question about the game battles thing? And so every medium that is popular and becomes ultra, we're talking on an international scale, mainstream. Mm-hmm. Look at radio, look at video, look at television, all these things. They start out in the hands of the people, and then they funnel their way into corporations and companies that kind of control it all. And this is not me having a tinfoil hat, but
That's a good way to start it off.
Yeah, right. But like, okay, like game battles was something that like was in the hands of the players, and it was something that, yeah, I mean, but like that was esports before esports was a thing. Now, if you want to be in the esports space, you either have to be one of the best players in the world, or you have to have millions of dollars. Like game battles, is that even a thing anymore? Like, do they even do anything?
Let's see.
Are they important at all? Does that even matter?
That's a great question.
Let's see. So
I have not heard of anybody doing anything on that in a long time.
Oh, it's MLG.
So, and that's ultimately the downfall of game battles, which some would argue the opposite. It's what allowed them to still be here today. Was Major League Gaming purchasing game battles? Because at the beginning, Major League Gaming and game battles kind of worked hand in hand, but they were two separate entities.
Okay.
And I think Sundance, if I remember the name right, he spearheaded that kind of merger, or MLG purchased game battles. And then what happened also was you started the third parties were able to, like random gamers were able to start making their own websites to run their own tournaments. So it started taking that away. And then now, like, kind of when me and Tyler Grayzilla, when we got out of the Call of Duty semi-pro scene, it was to the point where there were so many game battles that it was hard to keep up with.
I see.
Yeah.
I mean, Corbin Cash Cup was one of those.
It was up there. It was up there.
That was all right. That's
one of the most popular ones.
Almost got
There's
bought
so
by
many
MLG.
cash cups. So many cash cups nowadays. Hey, I do see on here though featured tournaments. Chris, if you're interested, the Mythic Dungeon International Shadowlands Season 3, the prize is $420,000.
Jeez, that's crazy.
That's 63 days away. Do you think we could do it? Do we think we in 63 days, if we leave our wives and we just LAN all the time, will they take us back?
That was a quick one, by the way. That was a quick. We leave our wives.
I mean, like, because I'm like, there's no other way I could do this. I'd have to dedicate all of my time to this. Do you think they would take us back if we split 420K? Hey. Like, if we come back with 210 each?
It'd be hard.
We're both
to not,
in WoW again. We both got back in. It seems
it's
like this is
a couple weeks.
So 63 days.
Yeah, that's
right. I think I could salvage it back after.
Is this a mythic push, or is this
Mythic
PvP?
Dungeon International Shadowlands Mythic Dungeons?
Okay, so you know how hard those keys are.
Yeah, they're real tough.
And you got to find we would need 3 others that also have to be goated like ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So
that also everyone on the team has to leave their family. We're not just gonna have some people doing that and some people not. You know, we need full buy-in.
Y'all are getting very nerdy over here. You know,
we'll figure it out. Anyway, game battles looks like it's still a thing, but you're telling me it's not great. Okay, that's all I really wanted to know. That's how we got there.
But it could all come back
out of this tailspin.
It could come back more with now Microsoft buying MLG. So who knows?
Could be.
Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard.
So all of that stuff that they bought included MLG in that purchase.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that's big.
Yeah,
that's a big deal, because they also just announced right before that Call of Duty tournament that Esports engine was going to start working with CDL, and those are the guys who are the reason MLG is known how it is today.
Yeah, they announced it like 2 hours before it started or something too.
Chris, think about this. Other than maybe Dota and League of Legends, name the 3 biggest esports, like entertainment, anything out there in the esports scene is Halo, Call of Duty, and Overwatch League, and all of those are now owned by Microsoft. That's freaking huge.
You're gonna get me talking about. I think this is and I've Grayzilla. He's a top 500 player at one point, or close to being as a tank. I think Overwatch League, Overwatch itself, may have been saved
by
this buyout.
Yes,
I
think
finally get Overwatch 2.
Eventually.
Not this year.
So that's where I don't know. Who knows if Overwatch 2 is even ready to go this year?
Yeah,
that's the problem. If it was, we'd have more information or more trailers and things like that. That's crazy that it. Then who owned MLG? Activision owned MLG. That's what that means?
I think one of them, Activision or Blizzard did.
Because I just signed in. So while we're doing this, not that I'm not focused.
No,
that ain't it.
No, you're all good. Don't give out yourself.
Signed into my member since 2009 Game Battles account.
Oh wow.
Profile views 7,000. Got a couple tournament trophies there. Got my top friends still there.
Go.
My pro points from my games that I played. But the reason why I brought that up.
What's your username on
here? So I went by Murda, like when I'm talking
Murda.
6th grade, MURDAH with a dash. That's but it doesn't have any of the, like they reset all records with Call of Duty Ghosts. So it doesn't really have when all I did was that in school and sports. It doesn't.
This is really cool that it keeps up with all this. That's sweet.
Yeah. The reason why I mentioned all that is because signing into Game Battles had me sign into my BattleNet.
Oh.
So that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. That was very well. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I was gonna say that was very fast, but that makes they were already owned by them.
So here I found the bit. December 31, 2015, literally the last day of the year. There you go for the tax breaks. It was reported that substantially all of MLG's assets had been acquired by Activision Blizzard for only $46 million.
Wow.
So Bobby Kotick wanted that to happen. He said they wanted to, quote, build the ESPN of video games. So, and he bought them mainly because of their streaming operation, MLG.TV. Like, none of this is important anymore. Like, nobody cares about any of this. Like, one, you owned it. You own MLG, then you make two leagues without it. The two biggest leagues, arguably, Call of Duty and Overwatch. MLG.TV got beat out by Twitch and YouTube. Like, nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
Right? So, and then it said MLG, which lost large profits during the COVID-19 pandemic, was announced to be acquired by Microsoft in January 2022. Through its acquisition of Activision Blizzard, journalists for the Daily Spot speculate that the buyout will enable Microsoft to revitalize MLG and ramp up sponsorships. So we may see it.
Yeah.
The first thing that's on this MLG.TV is the Call of Duty 2022 season.
What?
That's very odd.
So Matt, I believe MLG.TV was dead before Overwatch League began. Yeah. That's why they did their YouTube partnership, or at first they did Twitch. So I want to say Twitch.tv and MLG.tv were also like a hand-in-hand type of thing whenever they were both very popular. Twitch just completely outscaled it, day and night. Something else I wanted to say. Sounds like Microsoft has the Infinity Gauntlet, and they have all the stones.
They do. They're just
all
ready
the
to snap.
Awesome. Dude, Game Pass. They got it, dude. Game Pass is going to be sick. I have that for the next 2.5 years, and I'm so excited. I have a very long membership on Game Pass.
I was like, what? How'd you buy like a 3-year membership?
I bought a 3-year. Did you do the re-up for the $1?
Yeah, when they first came out with it, and you could stack it as much as you possibly wanted to.
Dude,
yeah.
Yeah, you can buy 3 years of Xbox Live, just regular Xbox Live, and for $1, you can update all of that to Game Pass Ultimate. So I have Game Pass on PC and Xbox for 3 years for $1.
That's crazy.
And that also comes with Spotify and something else now that I saw.
Nitro.
What?
Oh wow!
And they give you occasional Disney Plus and Hulu.
That's what it is. Disney Plus. Yeah.
That's
someone
crazy.
posted a thing. It was like Microsoft Game Pass is eventually going to have, and it was like a HelloFresh subscription, a Pornhub subscription. It was a funny little meme photo.
That was pretty good.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a total monopoly, and they're going to get busted. But can't wait to play those games.
Yeah. Another game that we can't wait to play is Warzone 2. Have you heard about this?
Oh yeah.
What? Is this a thing?
That's what they say it is. So they announced kind of their. I don't know. Chris has more information on this. I guess what they said, like their 4-year plan of the games that are going to be coming out, and so
you can continue. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that was they have some Call of Duty games that are going to be coming out, and they announced that at least the next 3 Call of Duties will be on Xbox and PlayStation. They didn't guarantee it for life, so who knows? That could become an Xbox exclusive, which I wouldn't blame them for doing. But yeah. I'm excited to have a totally different take on Warzone, which will be exciting because this one sucks.
So this is from Jason Schreier, who is a kind of a not a renown. He's got some people hate him. Most people hate him. Some people like him. He started out with Kotaku, and then I believe he went somewhere else, and now he's with Bloomberg doing gaming news. But yeah, I think he got some information about pretty much doubling down on what Phil Spencer said about trying to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, like their desire to do that. And more of just a confirmation of what they may be able to do in the next 3 years. In the next 18 months, let's read.
Here's this tweet from Phil Spencer. It says, had a good call this week with the leaders at Sony. I confirm our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry, and we value our relationship.
Yeah, it's more or less he's Thanos and not Microsoft.
Yeah,
he's got the power.
He's wearing it.
I don't know if you guys saw the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Thanos teamed up with some people before he gained all the power. And then once he gained all the power, it's like he didn't need anybody. Then he went and lived on his planet by himself after he snapped. You know what I'm saying? So like they're putting this 4 years thing out there. Like, yeah, we'll play friends for like 4 years. No promises afterwards. It's probably because the time machine that they're building is like forecasted to be done in like 4 years and a day. And then they're going to go back in time, and then we're going to live in the United States of Microsoft.
Interesting. That's a good take.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So I don't know. It would here's the thing. If you have all the games, your competitor, you always win. Your competitor's either paying you for the right to put it on their platform, or they're going to lose people for not having those games.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the new gig is Game Pass, buy all the studios. Completely destroy your competition.
Yeah. If you don't have competition, you win.
Yeah.
And there's no more breaking up like they did with Rothschilds and things like that. So they're not scared to do that anymore.
True.
Yeah.
So what we're saying about Warzone 2 is going to be made by Treyarch, is that right?
Warzone 2. So this is very, very early rumors, and this is from someone else I follow who kind of is a known. They try not to go as leakers, but he's a known information finder before it comes out, before it hits the mainstream. He's finding that information, as in he's got some insiders, and he's been right in the past a lot. Like a couple of dudes that I follow on Twitter have pretty much been able to give out the new season and the stuff that's coming like weeks in advance before it's even announced. And they had leaks on Battlefield 2042, things of that nature. But he said Warzone 2 is a next gen and PC only, no past weapon integration, new game for the better hardware. And let's see.
This is Tom Henderson is his name.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
At _Tom_Henderson_ on Twitter.
Yeah, that's exciting. I think that Warzone needs a reset.
Yeah. It was part of what I was worried about at the beginning of it. Like they announced that you were going to have everything from the start to the end. What happens when there's too much like there is now? It's, what is it? 3? Is that 4 games?
Over 150 weapons.
Yeah. And it's like, you're going to have overlap at that point. You can't create 150 unique weapons and none of them do the same thing. Like, And you have like 4 different MP40s.
Yeah, it's 3 entire Call of Duties all in one battle royale.
So
It's
dumb.
crazy.
Yeah. Now, I would love if my skins would transfer. I would love if the things I paid for transfer. They probably won't.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a legal time frame that they have to allow it to be until they like. I guess there may not be anything legal that comes into it yet.
No.
But
I doubt they will.
That's where I don't think they care. I don't think they give
not at all
any care about anything but making a profit with those cosmetics.
Yeah. Overwatch 2 is going to be able to have every cosmetic that I earned in Overwatch 1 will be in Overwatch 2, and I think that's super cool. But I can't expect every game to do that.
Yeah, that's true. And you might not ever play that game, so who knows?
Hey, don't jinx it.
I don't know. I already stopped watching Call of Duty League, so what will I do next? I don't know.
That's true.
I'm an idiot.
Let's see. I got anything else on Call of Duty, Warzone, or anything like that?
They don't have plans for they don't have plans after 2023. Modern Warfare 2, but not the MW2 we know, is coming this fall.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, this may have been actual. They released the information, but supposedly we're early October now with the release.
I saw some of the executives were also saying that they do not want to continue to push for a yearly release, and they want to take more time to develop better games, which I'm all for.
That's a part of us not having that information after 2023 because they've got the Modern Warfare 2, Infinity Ward's making it. The game after that is going to be Treyarch. Nothing set in stone at all, contractual or anything for after 2024 and beyond. And I think that's where Microsoft is going to be gearing up to be building a Call of Duty that lasts multiple years.
Yeah,
which we've never seen before.
No,
I don't think.
I would like to have a Call of Duty Battle Royale return that was kind of like the same structure as Blackout, of actual, like a true Battle Royale, diving in with nothing and then picking your loot up and surviving and winning it. Instead of buying your loadout, and if you have weapons that are already max leveled, you're going to outbeat everybody else who doesn't have that. So I would like that to return, but who knows?
You're here.
Maybe I'll just go play PUBG or something.
That's a tricky one because when they came out with Warzone and that was the thing, that's what made it fun.
Yeah,
that's what made it as big as it was. They didn't just copy Blackout. They actually tried something different and did something their own. That's why Warzone was good for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just turned it into a seasonal battle pass. You have to buy this to be able to get this gun to be able to compete if you want to not rage, which
it's crazy. Because some of the guns that were in the battle pass were way better than other guns.
They purposely do that. It's always been that way. Even the guns now that were in the battle pass, I don't play it. That's how bad it is. And I love Call of Duty. I want to say it's the well gun is what they call it.
Okay.
Best gun in the game. It's the most recent gun that came out with the battle pass.
It's like the 2-shot headshot or something. That's like shooting slugs or something.
I think so.
Yeah, I saw a video of that and I was like, "Oh, this guy's cheating." We were like, "No, that's just this gun." It's like, oh my goodness.
How's it work? Either you can unlock it via the battle pass, or you get it. If you don't unlock it via the battle pass, you just get it at the end of the season.
No, you don't get it.
What?
At the end of the season, there's a challenge, or so to say, like a like
it goes
the
like
first thing that comes like 25 or 5 kills in 15 games, killing someone near a smoke. That's what it turns into.
Okay.
So they do allow you to go get them, but you've got to play to do that if you don't buy it.
Yeah.
And by that time, the gun's not going to be useful anymore.
Yeah, they've already nerfed it and moved on to the next one that you have to buy.
They've got a good business model. We can all agree
true.
with that.
That is very, very true. That is very true. Awesome. Well, we got a question from a listener we'll hop over and listen to.
This is
of gaming. What's up, guys? Big fan of the show, big fan of the podcast. So I think my computer's power source just got fried in a lightning storm. I'm pretty upset. My question is what console or computer or video game that you ever lost or broke that was just heartbreaking for you? And just remember, always be gaming.
Yeah, good question. That's Rob City. Go listen to his podcast as well. So the question is
Spotify,
iTunes, yeah. Question is there a console or game that you lost or broke that you never got back that you're very sad about? I'll start this off since I listened to this earlier, so I kind of had some time to think about it. I had an old computer game when I was growing up. Oh my goodness, I just lost the name of it. I'll have to recoup my memory, but it was an old computer game from like 1999 or maybe 2000 that I would play on our dial-up internet and spend a lot of time. That was kind of like my first online experience before jumping into Xbox Live. That disc ended up breaking just because it was a disc. That's how the games were. I never ended up buying another one. So that really sucked. Never lost like a console or anything. I might have lost like a PSP. That might have actually happened.
Oh, since you said PSP, Matt, can I segue into my story? Because I have a story right off the top when Robbie asked that question. And it's a personal vendetta for life almost. I'll always remember, never will forget. I want to say 4th or 5th grade, maybe 3rd or 4th. My grandpa got me a PSP right when they came out.
Wow.
Couldn't believe I got it. I remember I knew it was like almost the same price as an actual console. So I like never thought I was actually going to get it. I actually got it for Christmas. A couple months down the line, I'm not playing it. I think my brother wanted to play it, let him play it. The middle brother, Clayton. Craig games a little bit with us. Clayton, not a big gamer. Games, not a big gamer though. Where's my PSP? I ask. Go and find it. He had chewed teeth marks into the LCD screen. I'm 3rd, 4th grade, so that means he's first or kindergarten. And I kid you not, at least an inch of just gnaw marks, like a dog had chewed on it. And he tried to deny it. There's no way you're denying that. He's the one who had it in his hands when it happened. Our dog wouldn't have done that. And yeah, I've brought it up recently. I've brought it up many times. I will never forget. I may forgive. Will never forget.
Yeah, there you go. Civilization. That's the game I had. I don't remember which one it was, but that was the one that I used to play on the computer, and it got broken.
Okay. For me, it wasn't a broken so much. I mean, it might as well have been, but I let a friend borrow, so this might be before y'all's time, Super Nintendo, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest. It's not Diddy Kong's Quest, Diddy's Kong Quest. So, I mean, not the longest time to complete the game. Maybe like 10, 12 hours if you're a kid, right? Nowadays, we could probably beat it in like 9 hours. But I let my buddy borrow it. And when you used to have old games, you had save files on the games. You didn't have a memory card or just whatever. It didn't save to your hard drive. You had like save file 1, 2, and 3. And I had save file 1. I was like, dude, you can use 2 or 3, but do not touch 1 because I have not beat it yet. And I was like, maybe like 8 hours in. My buddy's sister got on, played save file 1, or played a new game and saved it over my save file.
Jeez.
So when he gave it back to me, he was like, dude, I think Paige, I'm outing her now. Preston and Paige. Preston was borrowing it. Paige did that. She went on to be a Dallas Mavericks dancer and is now a real estate agent moving to Colorado. So congratulations, Paige. Everything worked out for you. Nothing has worked out for me since then. Life went out of control. That's just Anyway, I never did beat it. I was just like, I had no motivation to go back and try it again.
I feel like that
That's
happened to me
rough.
too. That was
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, you had a younger sibling. I had 2 younger siblings.
yeah.
I mean, Matt, since you bringing it up, I'm upset right now just thinking about like
Tough.
Tony Hawk. Like I was like almost
That's exactly
beating
what I
it,
was thinking of. Yep.
completely deleted. The original Xbox, Indiana Jones.
Wow.
Little brother plays for a little bit. I come back, no save.
It's the worst.
Yep.
I'm heated now. You got me heated. I'm
Figured
really.
everybody here. Everybody's had a
Yeah.
story like that. Sorry, guys. That's what I thought of. This is Robbie's fault.
This is Robbie's fault.
That is true. I'm calling my brothers to yell at them after this, Robbie, just because of you.
Well, that's awesome.
That is a good question.
It is.
That was a
Thanks,
great one.
thanks, Robbie, for the question. We appreciate that. Well, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. This has been a fantastic, maybe the best episode of Always Be Gaming.
Hands down. Hands down.
Chris, thanks for joining us, man.
Whoa.
Hopefully, we can have you
Whoa.
back here.
Careful with those words.
Yeah, we'll
The
see.
best.
It was the best. It was.
Absolutely. Chris, where can the people follow you?
I have a Twitter. It is GCV with 3 E's at the end. That's Golf Charlie Vector Echo Echo Echo.
Okay.
That's where you can follow me. Don't have any other socials quite yet. We'll get there.
Yeah.
It's work in progress.
Well, there you go. We'll put it all in the description below the podcast. You guys can follow us. Always Be Gaming on all social platforms. You can find us there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and listening to this podcast. We greatly appreciate you all so much. Tell a friend, tell your family, and we will see you all next time. Thank you.